Good day, students. My name is Mr. Young, and it occurs to me that my tutorials are a little, I don't want to say useless, but you don't get to know how to use Illustrator very much. So I'm going to start from scratch showing you how to set up a workspace. As you can see, I have one set up here, although I really think that once I do this, that will be my new one. But let's get started. Showing on this button here, you of course will not have a J on it, but by default it shows up with essentials, which is what you want to use. Now you could use like any of the other Adobe products, but I don't care for them that much. I want to create a workspace of the tools that I use most frequently. So hit essentials, and it pretty much gives you nothing except for this bar on the side. So what you want to do is get rid of this, so just click and drag it to the middle of the screen, and you see an X appear on the top right corner. Click that X and that gets rid of it. It's just a quick way to use all of the windows that we're about to use anyway. So go to your, well, actually, let's start with our functions that I use all the time. So click, hold down, and a separate menu pops up. So what you want to do is go to the end of this plus sign and let go of your mouse. It then creates a floating menu of all those buttons that are contained within there. So since I use a lot of the pen tool, of course I do use a lot of hotkeys, but this is good to have up anyway, as I do use it fairly often as well. One thing that I could use hotkeys for, but is the tools. The default shapes, but as you see, there is no hotkey for the round or rectangle tool, polygon, star, or flare tool. So what we're going to do is just create a clickable menu for it, and we're going to move it in place. I move it right underneath the well, actually, let's make it along the top to see if we can clean this up a little. If not, maybe not, you might say, what the hell, Mr. Young, why do you have us do this? This sucks. Alright, another popular thing will be if you click it all on the rotate button. This is, again, this hotkey's for both of these options, the rotation and reflect. But again, there's no harm in having it up either. We're also going to do the same with the scale tool, which only this scale tool has a hotkey. The other two do not, so although I can't say I've ever used the shear tool or the reshape tool, but it could be useful, I guess. Alright, for you out there that are a bit anal about exact measurements like I am, you can use the eyedropper tool And the eyedropper tool has a hotkey, but the measure tool does not. Which, again, it's for us anal people that we have the measuring tool. And if you don't see, I'm actually placing these by hand. And it's not super easy for a guy like me, but I do anyway. We do occasionally use symbols, so what we're going to do is click and hold the symbol sprayer tool button, and as you can see, there's only a hotkey for the first button. There's actually like 7 or 8 8 icons in this group, so we're going to use that as well. Boy, I wish it was a snap. One of the additional, I forgot earlier to put this up, is the line tool, and it has a lot of neat tools in it, like the arc spiral and a grid tool. I've never heard of anyone using the bullet grid tool, but what the heck, we're not deleting individual buttons out of here. So can we? I'm trying to right click, but apparently you cannot. So, and our last menu that we're gonna put up top is the text menu. Again, there is only one hotkey for these 6 icons, but and most of them I don't use. I usually use just the T, which is for text, or the type tool if you want to be specific. But those are your menus for the top. Now we're gonna start adding windows. Now we go to the ones that really say to us, you know, I could use that. I use that quite frequently. Now I use the align button quite often. Now it has the align, pathfinder, and transform in here, but I don't find a lot of use for the transform. So we can just drag it away and it becomes its own window, and we have the axe to get rid of it. Now we're left with the align and pathfinder, which I use quite often. So we're just going to put that as close as we can to the top. Again, there's no snapping, so we have to do this by hand. And you know, I'm not certain why it's not showing the pathfinder with the check mark beside it. And no, it's not showing a line with a check mark, so we're not going to worry about that. Attribute is a pretty good one to have, but that can be covered by other ones. Color and color guide are also good, but I'm not going to worry so much about them. The next one that I want to use is gradient. And again, by clicking gradient, it brought up this menu bar, which we don't want, but we do want. We want gradient, which we're going to drag just below this one. And there is a snap for that. And we want stroke. Actually, we want transparency as well. So we're just going to do all of them. And stroke, we're going to put in the bottom. We're going to get rid of this box here because we don't need it or want it. So, and transparency we're gonna put up in the corner here. Now for people with, say, frame TVs that watch YouTube like I do, you're missing part of the transparency box here. But people watching it on YouTube on their computers will be able to see it all. So if you really need to see it, go to your computer. You probably also cannot see that I'm clicking on the window menu option, but you see that the stroke gradient and transparency windows all have checks next to them. Now, info, also a very useful thing, but it's something we can call up if we need it. Isn't too often. Now this brought up the layers menu and our boards, which we don't need, so we're just going to X out the menu and just choose the layers box and put it into place, and it snaps below. So, and because I use a lot of layers, I'm stretching the window open a little. So let's go in and find another window. Link's not really important. Magic Wand I've never used, but I think it's similar to Photoshop where you assign the tolerance. Let me just look at it. Yes, that is all it is. It's just your tolerance, which in Illustrator doesn't really matter because it's all vector shapes. So you don't need to pick up with a lot of things. Navigator is alright, but being that I don't have it anymore, I find it a lot better. It puts up a little picture of your workspace, and you can use that to navigate around. You can just pull a little box around, but in my opinion, it's better to zoom in and out and just move your artboard around with the space bar to drag. Now we continue on with that window. We have the Pathfinder already, and the separations preview is not necessary unless you're doing print art, which normally I do not teach, so we don't have to worry about that. Stroke we already have up. SVG interactivity, to be honest, I have no idea what that is. Swatches we want and samples we want. And those are two things that are here. So we're going to drag those out, and we're going to close this bar down. As you can see, that bar is getting smaller and smaller because we keep taking stuff from it. Boy, I sure hope we don't have a lot more, because we're pretty much full up. So type, if we need to use the type menu, we can pull it up, and variables is not really necessary. Brush libraries and all this stuff can be brought up if need be. So we don't really need any more. So I'm going to save this workspace. You click Save Workspace, and I'm going to call it J again, just to copy over the one that I had before. It's pretty much all the same stuff, just better organized. So I'll hit OK. And it says, do you want to overwrite the existing? And I click yes. For you it wouldn't be that, but now our workspace is all ready to start working on stuff, and we have a ton of tools at our disposal. I hope that they inspire creativity in you. it does in me, just seeing all the things open. I'm now saying, oh, I could use that, and oh, I could use this, and ooh. But I hope to inspire creativity in you. That's sort of my job. But as always, this is Mr. Young, and keep drawing.